Ladies and gentlemen, in a world obsessed with display, God still honors the power of development in the dark. True elevation does not come to those who perform, but to those who prepare. You do not need a stage to become significant. You need substance. And substance is not formed in the crowd. It is formed in the quiet. There is a kind of power that does not shout, a strength that does not seek applause. There is a journey that begins in the shadows long before it is ever seen in the light. That journey is called personal growth. And if you're going to build yourself into the person God designed you to be, you must learn how to do it quietly, deliberately, and with wisdom. You must master the art of silent construction. Building when no one is watching, growing when no one is clapping, becoming even when no one is calling your name. Because the loudest lives are not always the strongest. But the strongest lives always begin in quietness. The first way to build yourself quietly is to commit to private preparation. Your future does not start when people recognize you. It starts when you begin to prepare without recognition. Nothing great appears suddenly. Everything great is processed, developed, and formed over time. You cannot microwave purpose. You must allow yourself to be cultivated. Ask any master craftsman, and they will tell you, the most important work is done before the product is ever shown. You must become a student of the hidden place. Spend time developing your character, refining your thinking, and strengthening your discipline away from the public eye. Preparation is proof of expectation. When you prepare in secret, you are announcing to heaven that you are ready for promotion. Secondly, you must discipline your daily habits. Your future is not something you wait for. It's something you walk into one habit at a time. Your life is the sum total of the small decisions you make repeatedly. It is easy to dream of big things, but it is harder to wake up early, to read consistently, to manage your time, and to practice excellence when no one is checking on you. Yet this is where true growth takes place. Daily discipline is the quiet proof that you are serious about your destiny. Greatness is not a result of intensity. It is the result of consistency. What you do in secret will echo in your public season. That's why you must commit to doing the small things well. Because every small thing done with excellence becomes the foundation of something greater. Thirdly, guard your inner circle. Not everyone deserves access to your process. You don't need a crowd while you're building. You need counsel. Choose your company with intention. The voices around you can either sharpen your vision or dilute it. Growth requires isolation from contamination. You cannot grow quietly when you are surrounded by noise and confusion. Choose friends who challenge your complacency and protect your purity. Be around people who are not impressed with your potential, but are invested in your progress. The wrong relationships will delay your growth, but the right ones will accelerate it. Building quietly means you are not performing for people, but aligning with those who push you toward purpose. Another way to build yourself quietly is to feed your mind before you feed the crowd. A malnourished mind will never lead a generation. You must invest in your intellect. Read, study, think, and question. The mind is the workshop of destiny. If you do not challenge your thoughts will limit your potential. Don't be so quick to share before you've shaped what you carry. Study in silence. Meditate in stillness. Learn so deeply that when you finally speak, you don't just sound intelligent. You sound like wisdom wrapped in clarity. You cannot pour out what you haven't first poured in. Quiet learners become loud leaders, not by volume, but by value. Let purpose govern your silence. Silence is not weakness, it is strategy. In a world where everyone is talking, the wise are listening. While others post for attention, the builder prepares for assignment. There is power in being silent until you are ready. Don't allow pressure to provoke premature exposure. Everything in season, everything by design. A tree does not shout when it is growing. It simply pushes deeper roots and stretches higher until one day its fruit speaks for itself. So stay silent until your season speaks for you. You are not hiding, you are being hidden. And when the time is right, your silence will sound like thunder. Master the power of private preparation. Greatness is never born in public view. It is conceived in silence, nurtured in solitude, and revealed in time. Discipline your daily habits. You do not decide your future. You decide your habits, and your habits decide your future. Destiny is not something you stumble upon. It is something you prepare for intentionally, day by day. The blueprint of your life is not written in moments of inspiration, but in the routines you uphold when motivation disappears. Many people are waiting for a breakthrough, while neglecting the process that brings it. The truth is, your future is hidden in your daily routine. If you want to change your life, don't start with your goals, start with your habits. Quiet people understand this. They build without broadcast. They know that routine is louder than reputation. They rise before others do. They think while others entertain. They practice in obscurity. They are faithful in the small things because they understand that the small things shape everything. If your habits lack discipline, your dreams will lack substance. Because discipline is not punishment, it is preparation. It is the evidence that you have decided not to live by emotion, but by conviction. Everyday life gives you 24 hours. The rich, the poor, the wise, the foolish, everyone gets the same amount of time. But how you use it separates those who build from those who break. When your daily habits are aligned with your purpose, your progress becomes inevitable. You won't need to force growth. It will follow your discipline. That's why the most powerful people are not always the most talented, but they are the most consistent. Talent can give you a platform, but discipline keeps you there. Discipline is not always exciting. It often looks like repetition. It sounds like silence. It feels like delay. But make no mistake, every discipline step is a brick in your foundation. While others seek applause, you are building structure. While others chase trends, you are laying principles. Routine is the womb of greatness. You do not become excellent by accident. You become excellent by practice. Over and over again, without applause, without recognition, without needing to be seen. There are people watching you now who don't see any results yet, but they don't realize that you're training in the shadows. And when the time comes, your discipline will speak so loudly, you won't have to say a word. So wake up with purpose. Manage your time. Read when you don't feel like it. Exercise when it's easier to rest. Study when it's tempting to scroll. Pray when it's easier to complain. Every small decision, repeated with intention, becomes a silent declaration of the future you are creating. Most people admire greatness, but few are willing to live the kind of daily life that produces it. But not you. You are building quietly. You are rising before the sun. You are choosing structure over spontaneity. You are saying no to what is easy and yes to what is necessary. You understand that destiny is not revealed to the distracted. It is found by the disciplined. Quiet people are not silent because they lack words. They are silent because they are busy working. You won't find them making noise about their plans. They are too focused on executing them. And when the season changes, when preparation meets opportunity, they won't need to announce their arrival. Their habits will already have spoken. You do not need permission to become who you were born to be. You only need consistency. Show up every day not for attention but for alignment. Your future is not waiting on inspiration. It is waiting on structure. Discipline your habits, and your habits will carry you where your dreams cannot take you alone. Quiet people build loudly through routine. Guard your inner circle. Who you surround yourself with shapes what you become. Your environment is not neutral. It is formative. Every voice you allow into your life either builds you up or breaks you down. The people closest to you influence how you think, how you speak, and what you tolerate. If your circle is full of noise, you will struggle to hear clarity. If your circle is full of opinions, you will struggle to find direction. That is why those who build quietly are intentional about who gets access to their journey. There is a difference between association and alignment. You can associate with many, but only align with a few. The crowd will celebrate your potential, but only the right people will challenge your character. The crowd will cheer your gifts, but your true circle will correct your weaknesses. It is easy to be surrounded by fans, but fans don't build you, builders do. Quiet builders are not interested in applause. They are interested in accountability. They seek relationships that sharpen them, not ones that simply agree with them. Many people fail not because they lack purpose, but because they trust the wrong voices. You cannot grow in the presence of people who are comfortable with your stagnation. If those around you are not growing, you will either shrink to fit them or leave to protect your growth. And make no mistake, growth always demands separation. Not because you are better than anyone, but because you are becoming something different. Separation is not rejection. It is protection. When you're building quietly, you must protect what is still forming. A weak circle will kill a strong calling. You must guard your space like it is sacred, because it is. Your vision is too valuable to be exposed to small minds. You don't need many people, you need the right ones. A few wise voices are more powerful than 1,000 opinions. You are not called to please everyone. You are called to fulfill a purpose. And if your inner circle does not understand that, you are carrying dead weight. Even the right people at the wrong time can become a distraction. Look at those closest to you. Do they call you higher? Do they ask you hard questions? Do they pray with you, challenge you, speak truth even when it's uncomfortable? Or do they flatter you, entertain you, and distract you from the discipline your destiny requires? Quiet people don't have time for shallow relationships. They are too focused on what they are building. And because they value where they are going, they protect who walks with them. Building yourself quietly does not mean building yourself alone. But it does mean being selective. Selective with your energy. Selective with your trust. Selective with your conversations. Not everyone deserves to know what you are building. Some people cannot handle your process because they do not understand your purpose. Do not feel guilty for guarding your space. Your peace is part of your power, and peace is easily lost in the presence of the wrong people. Be intentional about your tribe. Choose voices that refine you, not define you. People who speak life into your silence. People who see your unseen potential and help you protect it. People who are not intimidated by your growth, but invested in your transformation. Your future requires people who aren't just present, but purposeful. What you are carrying is sacred. It is not for entertainment. It is for impact. So guard your heart, your time, your vision, and your relationships. You cannot afford to be casual with what is critical. The deeper you go, the smaller your circle must become. Because clarity grows in quietness, and quietness thrives in trusted company. Those who build loudly in public often fall loudly. But those who build quietly with the right circle rise with stability and finish with strength. Choose wisely. Choose deliberately. Because your inner circle will either protect your destiny or poison it. Choose voices that refine you, not define you. Feed your mind before you feed the crowd. You cannot give what you do not have. You cannot pour out wisdom if your well is empty. In a world that rewards noise and celebrates visibility, it is tempting to rush into expression before engaging in reflection. But true influence is not built on noise. It is built on depth. If your thoughts are shallow, your influence will be limited. Deep thinking produces rich impact. And those who make the greatest difference are not always the loudest. They are the ones who thought deeply before they ever spoke. Your mind is the engine room of your destiny. Whatever enters it shapes it. If you allow distractions to fill your thoughts, you will build a distracted life. But if you fill your mind with truth, with principle, with vision, and with purpose, your words will carry authority. That is why those who build quietly spend more time thinking than talking. They study before they speak. They listen before they lead. They meditate before they move. They do not feed the crowd from emotion. They feed from a place of overflow. Feeding your mind is a form of stewardship. Every book you read, every thought you examine, every idea you refine, these are not wasted moments. They are deposits into your future. When you invest in knowledge, you prepare yourself for opportunity. And when opportunity comes, you won't scramble for answers, you will speak from abundance. Quiet builders are not unprepared, they are unseen. But when they rise to speak, their words cut through the noise because they were forged in thought, not in haste. Shallow minds cannot sustain deep callings. You cannot build a life of meaning on mental laziness. If you want to lead, you must learn. If you want to teach, you must study. If you want to inspire, you must first be inspired. Many want the microphone, but few want the meditation. Many crave the stage, but few crave the study. But if your mind is empty, your voice will echo without substance. And people may clap for your style, but they will not be changed by your words. That's why quiet people seem slow to speak. It is not because they are unsure. It is because they are searching for the right words. They want what they say to matter. They want their influence to be rooted in truth, not just trend. So they take time, they read, they reflect. They challenge their own assumptions. They dig until what they carry is not just opinion, but revelation. And when they finally speak, people don't just hear them, they remember them. This generation is starving for substance. There is information everywhere, but wisdom is rare. There is opinion on every screen, but truth must be pursued. You do not need to feed the crowd with everything you think. Feed them with what has been processed, purified, and proven. Feed them not from your excitement, but from your experience. Not just from your mind, but from your transformation. That kind of food nourishes. That kind of food lasts. So before you try to influence others, influence yourself. Feed your mind daily. Expose yourself to the thinkers, the builders, the visionaries who stretch your understanding. Not so you can copy them, but so you can cultivate your own depth. Let your silence be filled with study. Let your hidden hours be rich with insight. Let your quiet season be your classroom. You are not in hiding, you are in training. Every idea you wrestle with, every truth you meditate on, every insight you carry, these are the seeds of your future impact. Don't rush the process. Take time to be filled so that when your moment comes, you feed the crowd with more than words, you feed them with wisdom. If your thoughts are shallow, your influence will be limited. Deep thinking produces rich impact. Let purpose govern your silence. Silence isn't absence, it's strategy. It is not weakness, nor is it retreat. It is the restraint of the wise, the discipline of those who understand the weight of words. The loudest voice is not always the most powerful, and the most frequent speaker is not always the most influential. Real strength is revealed not in how often you speak, but in how effectively you speak. There is a time to be quiet, not because you have nothing to say, but because your words are being refined in the fire of purpose. Too many people speak prematurely and dilute the potency of their influence. They announce what they haven't built. They teach what they haven't lived. They explain what they don't yet understand. But those who are governed by purpose understand that premature exposure leads to immature impact. Silence, when governed by purpose, is not emptiness. It is alignment. It is preparation. It is the holy ground where your calling matures before it is revealed. When you allow purpose to govern your silence, your words begin to carry weight. You no longer speak to impress. You speak to impart. You speak not out of insecurity, but out of insight. People may misunderstand your quietness. They may mislabel you as passive, distant, or indifferent. Let them. Purpose is not always loud. Sometimes it is hidden, sometimes it is still. But that stillness is never without motion. Deep rivers make little noise, but they carve valleys through stone. Your silence, if rooted in purpose, is shaping your voice into something that cannot be ignored. When it is finally heard, learn to guard your voice. Don't let the pressure of visibility rush your development. Don't let the fear of being overlooked push you into noise. Be strategic with your silence. When you speak, let it be because you are carrying something worth releasing. Let it be because you have labored in thought, in prayer, in learning. Quiet people speak less not because they have less to say, but because they are conscious of the impact their words are meant to carry. They don't waste language, they steward it. Some things are too sacred to be spoken too soon. Revelation must deepen. Calling must be tested. Silence gives space for all these things. While others are building platforms, build your foundation. While others chase relevance, pursue resonance. Your silence today could be the reason your words shake nations tomorrow. So don't despise the season where your voice is still. That stillness is your strength. Purpose-driven silence is powerful because it disciplines your emotions. It teaches you not to react, but to respond. Not to speak out of frustration, but out of clarity. It trains you to listen, not just to people, but to timing. To know when to speak and when to wait. To know when to reveal and when to conceal. There is wisdom in waiting. There is strength in not having to be seen. There is greatness in letting your work speak before your voice ever does. When your silence is anchored in purpose, it is not an escape, it is an investment. You are becoming more than what they see. You are being shaped by something deeper than applause. You are not absent, you are becoming. And when you finally speak, your words will not echo for a moment. They will leave a mark for a generation. So let purpose govern your silence. Let strategy guide your stillness. Speak less until your words carry the weight of wisdom. Because when your voice rises from a place of purpose, even your whisper will carry power. Grow in value before you seek validation. The greatest mistake a person can make is to chase applause before they've cultivated substance. The world rewards visibility, but heaven honors value. When you become valuable, visibility will find you. It is a law that cannot be broken. The diamond does not cry out to be noticed. It is found because of what it is. You do not need to beg for recognition when you have become someone worth recognizing. Influence flows naturally to those who have made themselves essential. Validation is a drug. Once you crave it, you'll compromise anything to keep it. You'll trade authenticity for attention. You'll abandon your process just to be seen. You'll begin to measure your worth by likes, applause, and mentions, forgetting that visibility without value is a vapor, loud for a moment, then gone without a trace. But when you grow in value, when you develop your gift in secret, when you become excellent in obscurity, you are not chasing moments, you are becoming a movement. Quiet builders don't wait for permission to grow. They don't wait for an audience to develop mastery. They know that the most valuable things in life are formed in silence. A tree does not announce its roots, it just grows until its fruit cannot be ignored. Likewise, if you commit to depth, to substance, to becoming better in your unseen hours, your time will come. And when it does, you won't have to force doors open. Purpose will pull you into the places you were designed for. It is a dangerous thing to be known before you are ready. Visibility exposes you, but value sustains you. Some rise quickly because they are loud, but they fall quickly because they are empty. You must build quietly until what you carry can survive pressure. Don't measure your growth by who is watching. Measure it by how deeply you are rooted. Are you becoming someone who adds worth wherever you go? Are you increasing your capacity, your character, your wisdom? Because that's what determines true influence. People can affirm you today and forget you tomorrow. But value speaks even in silence. It echoes beyond trends, beyond applause, beyond culture. The people who change the world are not the ones who demand to be seen. They are the ones who become too effective to be ignored. Make it your mission to be one of them. Refuse to build a life that looks good but lacks weight. The applause of men is temporary, but the fruit of purpose is eternal. Seek to become a person of principle, of power, of patience. Let your quiet days be filled with sharpening. Read when others scroll. Practice when others talk. Invest in your mind, your discipline, your skill. Don't announce it. Just do it. One day, the very people who overlooked you will wonder how you did it. And the answer won't be noise. It will be value. You were never created to chase validation. You were designed to carry vision. And vision grows best in silence. That's where roots are formed. That's where motives are purified. That's where God refines what man cannot see. So grow. Grow when no one notices. Grow until what you've built speaks louder than any introduction. Grow in value, and validation will follow. Not because you chased it, but because you became undeniable. You don't need to convince the world of your greatness. Just commit to becoming it. The world rewards visibility, but heaven honors value. And heaven's reward will always outlast man's applause. So I say to you, do not despise the days of silence. Do not rush to be seen. Do not crave the noise of affirmation more than the sound of inner transformation. Build yourself quietly, not because the world demands your silence, but because your future requires your preparation. In the hidden place, your greatness is taking form. In the quiet, your roots are growing deep. In solitude, your purpose is being shaped like a sword in fire. You were never created to be loud. You were created to be lasting. And anything that will last must be built on truth, on discipline, on strategy, on wisdom, on vision, and on value. Don't let the culture of speed rob you of the power of seasons. Don't confuse exposure with elevation. Don't settle for being known. Pursue being needed. Heaven watches what man cannot see. While others applaud the surface, heaven weighs the substance. So build when no one claps. Grow when no one sees. Stay faithful when no one notices. Because when your time comes, what you built in silence will speak in places your voice could never reach. Be deliberate with your life. Be intentional with your silence. Let the hidden seasons mature you, mold you, and mark you. Because the day will come when the doors open, not because you knocked loudly, but because you carried something that could not be ignored. Build yourself quietly. And when the time is right, the world will not just hear you, they will feel you.